Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm excited you're here, and I'm excited to talk fall book recommendations. Grab yourself a tea or a coffee and enjoy. This is my fall mug. It's not really, but come on, they're solving mysteries in the fall and in the winter time and fall, right? Anyway, this is my fall mug. Drinking some Lady Grey tea. It's a bit fruity for a black tea, but I like it. Do you have any favorite teas? Drop them below. I'm always looking for new stuff to try out. All right, so to the books and to the recommendations. Fair warning, this is a combination of somewhat planned out, but it's gonna be a good amount of stream of consciousness stuff. So I've got some books that I'm like, oh, these will be good, but also some things will be more of like just generic genre or something, or if you can't find a specific book because it's older, that you might be able to find something approximating to it. That being said, I'm gonna dive right in. So of course, I'm gonna start out with The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Really anything Tolkien. I can't imagine really not enjoying Tolkien any time of the year, but to be fair, fall I think is a great time. I feel like that's when I first started reading Tolkien. It was The Hobbit, first of all, and I'm pretty sure it was in the fall. So that's just good memories for me. Also, he just talks about trees and forests and woods and rivers a lot, and nature. So to me, it's cozy, and because the way he describes it is very, usually comforting. Some woods are scary and dark, but there's always this love of home and nature in his writing. I think that's very prevalent in The Hobbit, and so that might be your go-to over, like, say, just all of this. It's a lot to read, but you can still find it in Lord of the Rings too. And I don't know if it's fair to like pick one of the books that's more of a fall read, but if I had to just kind of say my personal feeling, you could totally disagree. You could pick whatever you want, doesn't matter. But just from like memory, from what I enjoy, and I'm kind of rereading it right now, I would probably say The Fellowship of the Ring. There's a lot in the Shire. There's a lot of that home comfort, and it's great. So great fall reads. Moving right along, we've got The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. So what's great about these is, honestly, you could pick any of them, and I think they'd be great for a fall read. Now, it's been a while since I've read them all, but if I'm looking at them and just kind of like, what would I want to read in the fall? Honestly, what stands out to me is The Magician's Nephew. Again, I think part of that has to do with the fact that there's creation involved in a new world. And so, not the same as the way Tolkien describes things, but Lewis has a way of, writing about, beauty and enchantment in a way that's just draws you in. And I think that's stuff we're kind of looking for in a fall read. So any of them, but my personal thought is Magician's Nephew. But what's your recommendation? I'd love to know which one is your fall read. Okay, we're back to Tolkien. Yeah, I could easily probably make this whole fall read list about Tolkien, but I'm not gonna do that, okay? But here's another one. I'm gonna recommend Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, Pearl and Sir Orfeo. This is a great book. It's really a poem, but he translated it from Old English. And the first time I read it, I love really anything about knights and chivalry and fantastical elements. And this is a King Arthur legend that I had heard about, but I had never read. And it's just, I don't know, it's great. And Sir Gawain has to go on this quest, this adventure, and he's got to face the Green Knight. And what's cool about that is along his journey, it's a long journey, and there's the changing of seasons. So he's, battling monsters, and he finds a castle along the way. But it's cool because, like I said, it takes, I want to say a year. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's at least like a year, I want to say. So there's the changing of seasons. So again, because he's facing the Green Knight, there's descriptions of nature in this as well. And I know fall's not all about nature. We got pumpkin spice lattes and other things that we like about fall, but that's just kind of where my head's at the moment. So highly recommend this. Okay, jumping back to C.S. Lewis. I promise there's more than just Lewis and Tolkien, okay? But hear me out on this. This book is called Till We Have Faces. It's just a phenomenal, phenomenal book. It's a retelling of the myth of Cupid and Psyche. And it's about two princesses, and it's a lot of interesting symbolism. It's a book that I've read a lot of Lewis. It's something that he wrote that I was like, man, this feels very like different, but familiar. I know that may not make a lot of sense. It's like I read it and it's like, yeah, this sounds like Lewis, but in a very special way. And I think he was really in his flow when he was writing this. There's something about this. Like, I don't know if it was his favorite work that he wrote, but it just stands out compared to a lot of other things. I think it's a great read in general, but I think it's a great read for fall if you're looking for something that is, you know, got a little bit of everything. It's got some humor, it's got some heartbreak, it's got some beautiful imagery, it's got some religious symbolism in it, and it's just got layers. And so it's gonna be something that's gonna maybe surprise you a little bit, and it's also just gonna be intriguing. He writes in a way in this that's very kind of like mysterious and puts wonder in front of you, and you're trying to grasp at like, what is there a moral here? Is there a message here? And if there isn't, why are we talking about? Like, it's hard to explain. I don't want to say that it doesn't make sense. It's just that there's a lot to it. And every scene is like interesting. It's like, I want to know what happens next. So highly recommend Till We Have Faces. Okay, next recommendation is Beowulf. Hopefully that doesn't sound like a boring or a plain recommendation, because you might have read it before. But one of the reasons I'm recommending it is it's a short read, and it's a great read. Like, it's one of the oldest things in the English language that we have, and it's just so awesome. It's full of adventure, and it's great. I mean, you could probably just read any version and enjoy it. I haven't read Tolkien's yet, but I'm planning on it, so look out for a review of that at some point. Who knows when. But yeah, great read, short, something that you can just, you know, get into the reading zone and move on to another fall book. Okay, I'm shaking things up a little bit. I'm going sci-fi here, okay? Star Wars. Now, I'm kind of just recommending Star Wars in general, okay? Now, that's a little broad, I understand, but this is an older book, might be a little bit harder to get a hold of. I think Disney might have reprinted it. It may be on their website somewhere, but you can find this series usually at secondhand bookstores, like Half Price Books or whatever you have that's around you. But the series is the Young Jedi Knight series, and I picked this one. It's called Lightsabers. I like this one because it's when Jason and Jaina, they have to build their lightsabers at the Jedi Academy. And I love lightsabers. And as a kid, man, I was running around with lightsabers in the fall, jumping in leaf piles and just having a good time. So that's part of the reason why I picked this one in particular. But really the recommendation is just Star Wars, man. Sci-fi. Shake things up. All right, the next book recommendation is King of Camelot: The Legends of Arthur, His Knights, and Excalibur. So this is actually a book that my buddy wrote, and it's really great, guys. It's like, I don't want to just say academic, because I don't want to like freak you out and be like, oh, that's too much, it's too hard. But the reason I say that is just because he really studied and he drew from a lot of sources and told stories that haven't been told in like, I think, hundreds of years. It's chock full of just like great stories, and he's so talented that it's like, you know, they're kind of like individual chapters, individual legends, but because of the way he's placed them, and he just knows a lot about plot, whether he meant to or not, he really strings them through in a way. It's not a traditional novel in the sense of like, okay, we're starting with King Arthur and he's going through all this to get to this end point specifically. But, I mean, kinda. I read it and I tracked with it, and by the time I finished, I was like, oh, I kind of got the whole life of Arthur and all these great adventures that he went on, and by the end of it, it felt like there was a sense of completeness. And again, changing of seasons. There's different seasons and adventures to be had in this book. So this is my buddy's book. I'll link it in the description below. Highly recommend checking it out. Okay, we're not gonna go all fantasy sci-fi here. I'm gonna give you more of a personal development, spiritual book here. It's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. This is great, guys, and I think this is honestly a great read for fall, for the changing of seasons, getting ready for, you know, all the holidays and Christmas coming up, because we get so rapid fire, we get so caught up in our everyday lives, and we're scrolling social media, and we gotta do this, we gotta go to this event. And it's okay if your life is busy, but we need to sometimes battle against that. We need to find times where we can sit still, where we can sit down and read a fall book. You know, like if we enjoy reading, it's like, man, I haven't read in a while. Like we have to like carve out time for those things. And it gives practical ways, honestly, even if you are really busy, to do that. And so I think this is really good for people. Again, I don't think there's anything bad with like working hard, or if you are busy, but if you're busy just for the sake of being busy, that can, I think, cause a lot of damage. And so again, with the seasons changing, with the amping up to like hectic holiday seasons, I think this is a great fall read, so check it out. Okay, shifting gears to poetry. This is called A Spring Harvest. So this is a collection of poems by Jeffrey Bache Smith, who was good friends with J.R.R. Tolkien during World War I. Sadly, he passed away during the war. But after that, he got permission from Jeffrey's mother to publish a collection of his poetry, and I'm so grateful he did. It's amazing. He wrote some of these poems, I think, when he was as young as like maybe 14, and I think he was 21 or 22 when he died. Really sad. So he was a very young man, and some of the things he wrote in here, I'm like, was written by a scholar who was in his 60s. Like, I don't understand how he could write something so beautiful and profound that young. And there's a lot of yearning in it. Again, there's a lot of symbolism with nature and the elements and trees and rivers and water and oceans. And I just think it's a lovely read. This copy I have has got a beautiful cover. Again, I just think you got a nice, latte or cup of tea, sitting back, cozy blanket. This will fill you up. This will touch your heart in a special way. And finally, I think it's fair that I can recommend my own book of poetry. So this is my book. It's called Spirit Well. So I wrote these poems over the course of a couple of years, and a lot of what's in here is things that I've gone through, things that I was in a time where I wanted to say things and I just didn't know exactly how to say them, because I want to speak the truth to people and I want to speak it in love. And so I found an outlet here in an artistic way that I think God provided for me to get things, up out of my spirit, and share that. And that's part of the reason why it's called Spirit Well. It's like the things that were on my heart, in my spirit, that I wanted to convey to other people, that, to let them know that there's hope in this world, that it's not all darkness, that there is victory and there's hope in Jesus. There's poems about everything, everyday life. There's poems about, just struggles. There's, more whimsical poems. So there's a little bit of everything in here. And yeah, I would be so honored if you would check it out. And again, I think it'd be great for just a cup of tea, just, read a couple poems, relax, and chill out. So those are my fall book recommendations. I'd love to know what you guys think. Have you read any of these? Do you think they'd be good for fall reading? And if you have any recommendations of your own, I'd like some fall book recommendations. I like to read, I like new things, so drop them below. If you enjoyed these recommendations and found any value in this, please drop me a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel and I'm having a lot of fun. I love talking to you guys in the comments. It's always a blast. And as always, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. That really means a lot to me, and I know you took time out of your day to do it, so I really appreciate it. Thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one.